Starting a new song can be one of the most daunting tasks when it comes to writing music and music production in general. I thought this week I would just hop into FL Studio and I'll talk through the process of how I start my beats. Maybe we'll cook up a little 4-bar or an 8-bar loop and I can just show you the process of how I start my tracks essentially. So let's jump into FL Studio and get to it. I've got here my default template on FL Studio. I've got this configured with a bunch of mixer tracks already set up and a couple of instruments already loaded into the template. So let's start by trying to come up with some chords that sound good. I'm working at 60 BPM. I might try and write something in a C major scale. So there's just a C major chord. I've pushed the third of the chord up 1 octave. I think what I might do now is just tweak it slightly to make it like a C diminished or a C suspended. And then get rid of that third. That sounds nice. Maybe we'll do something like this. We've got our F, so let's keep that there. And then let's do a So what I'm thinking now is I might put that C diminished chord here. Now I'm hearing this, I'm not really loving the C major scale, so I might bump this up to a D major scale. Let's try and find a chord structure that we like the sound of. That sounds nice. Do I want to stretch this out for 2 bars maybe? I think I want to hit again there. So let's try putting in a B chord, B, D, G, B minor, and let's up the octave of that D. And then let's switch up this final chord and let's maybe drop it even further to a G, which is very similar notes. Let's just do like that. Or maybe we half this, play the G, and then back into our B minor. Okay, so we're getting something now. There's something about this piano that I'm not loving. Maybe just going to drop the velocity of these notes slightly and let's randomize it a little bit. Let's add a little bit of a strum to it. Now that I've heard it in full, I think I'm just going to extend that G chord. So I think that we got a nice little piano chord progression. Let's try dropping it back down to that C and seeing how it sounds. Pretty nice so far. Let's try popping it up to an F. And at this point, I'm just moving the chords around, trying to find a scale or find, a different intonation of these chords that sounds nice. Let's try a D sharp. And that sounds pretty nice. Let's take the hammers and the pedal sound off. Turn the reverb up. And then let's add a nice bit of pad into that piano sound. There we go. that's sounding nice. Let's do a little EQ. Nice warm sound. So that's there. We got a nice chord progression to start with. Now let's open up the Azure piano from Labs. This is my favorite drone sound, and let's just add some nice texture with that drone. I actually think what I might do as well is clone this piano, put the pad up to 100. I'm just going to copy all of the chords. We'll take out those extra notes. By turning the pad all the way up and the mix and the close off, you just get like a pad sound from this piano. And I might up that a whole octave. So then let's turn the piano back on. And then let's put this into our mixer so we get a separate mixer track for that piano pad. Let's just EQ those lows out a little bit, but keep it relatively simple. Maybe let's add like a delay to add some character to it. Just ping pong delay. I just think I might up it another octave. That's a bit too high. So at this point we've just got a piano, a drone, and then we got like a nice piano pad in the background, which is sounding really, really super nice. Let's just add a really simple bass. I'm just going to follow the bass notes of the chords. So let's just take all of those out to start with, drop that an octave. I take that one out, so we just get these quarter notes. So let's try this. Yeah, that's sounding really nice. And at this point, once I've got like this real base of the structure, what I might do is bring this into my pattern. Let's organize this in the pattern. What I'm going to do is just add like another piano sound. Choose a different preset. I'm just going to do like a really simple piano motif. So what I can do is open this up. We know we're in a D sharp. So let's just choose like a 1 and a 5 and just play something like that. And we'll just copy that for 8 bars. Super, super simple. I do like to play with the panning of this. So we've got an 8-bar pattern here. So let's like start it up here. And let's just do something that looks like this. So that it pans from left to right. And let's mess with those velocities as well. Nice. Let's add some drums. We've got like a really simple core structure. Yeah, let's add some drums. I'm just going to pull in some drum sounds. So I've just got a kick, a snare, got a shaker sound, this crash sound from a Mondo Loops pack, and then a hi-hat sound. Let's start putting in some drums. And we'll just go with a 4-bar loop and we'll have that repeat. Start really, really simple. Just going to EQ that snare. Now let's start adding in some hi-hats. I'm going to EQ a lot of that sharpness out. I actually think I'm going to sidechain the hi-hat to the kick, add a limiter, and then let's select the kick here, bring that threshold right down. I'm gonna make it super quick. Just so it kind of ducks out of the way, but as soon as it ducks, it's coming straight back up. I just want to make that hat a lot softer. Now let's add our crash in. Nice and simple. Got an EQ on that as well, just rolling off those highs. And let's put a bit of reverb on it. Finally, let's chuck a shaker in. I'm just going to do 2 steps on this, and we're going to make it hit really soft and every single time. Let's edit that sound. It's a bit too long. Squish it. And then let's drop an EQ on that as well, just to get the right sound. That's too low. And I want that to be really subtle in the mix. So at this point, we've got a pretty nice looking pattern. And usually what I do at this point is drop in some guitar. OBS doesn't really like it when I try and record guitar into FL Studio and into OBS. So I'm just gonna go away for a minute, record some guitar, and then we'll jump back in and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I just finished recording a couple of little guitar parts. Let's jump back into the project and then I'll show you what I've done. So as you can see here, I've got 3 recorded guitar parts. I recorded the first one, which is just a really simple ARP that follows this piano ARP that we added. I then added a little bit more of an ambient ARP. This is a higher octave and playing a little bit more complex ARP. Finally, I added a little top line guitar melody. Added them all into the mixer and have just mixed them down a tiny bit along with my really simple guitar chain effects that I've got loaded on here. And so with everything else that we've already added, this is how it sounds. Not a great guitar player, so it is pretty simple, but I think it's sounding really, really nice. So at this point, what I'd normally do is work on those guitars a little bit. So I've got the guitar ARPs here on channel 19 and 20. So what I might do is pan those left and right to give a really nice stereo width. So this is my ambient guitar. So what I might do with this one is add a decent bit of shimmer using Solaris to give it a nice like washed out ambient sound. Maybe I'll turn that mix up a little bit, get rid of that delay. We just want like a nice shimmer on the sound. And then for that main guitar, I might just add a little bit of more reverb. So if I was going to arrange this, I'd probably do something like this. Just the pianos coming in. At this point, I might introduce some guitar, some other piano. Let's maybe introduce a shaker at this point, and a snare. And then at the end of these 4 bars, let's introduce everything. So there you go. I'm super happy with how this has come out. I hope this is a little bit helpful for you guys if you're struggling with how to start your songs or how to make little kind of 4-bar, 8-bar loops or even samples. Like I could send this out to another artist and perhaps we could collaborate on a track together. It's a really good jumping off point for starting your tracks. From here, I'd probably go on to arrange it, add some transitions. I'd probably record a few more guitars. Perhaps I'd replace that synthetic bass with a live bass. It's sounding really nice for, you know, half an hour messing around on my computer. So super happy with how this has come out, and I might take this one a little bit further. If you do have any more questions with how I write my songs or how I start my songs, do drop a comment on this video. And yeah, I think that's about it for this week. See you in the next one.